Hi, this is Dick Graybill, George, some of you, and I wanted to share some pictures with you. I think a lot of you were at the Zoom meeting last year when Dan and I shared our pictures from the John Muir Trail. That was summer before last. So last summer we did another long hike from Tuolumne Meadows to Lake Tahoe, 150 miles. And we were going to do another Zoom meeting, but we just kept putting it off, and then we got too busy. So I'm just going to go through a PowerPoint of the slides of a slideshow of some of the pictures we took with a little bit of narrative, at least what I can remember. It's been a while. So we started in Tuolumne Meadows and went north, and this first picture, we were walking across Tuolumne Meadows. We saw a mother bear and her cub, and I usually figure that on average on a long hike you have like one bear encounter. So and this was our one, so we got that out of the way right away. And then we followed the Pacific Crest Trail all the way. And the first part of the trail goes down, follows the Tuolumne River down to Glen Allen. On the way, you pass Tuolumne Falls, which is really nice. So it's all downhill the first half of the day, which is nice to start, a way to start at altitude. Then you get down to Glen Allen. You cross the last bridge that you'll see for 150 miles or so. And you got to the Glen Allen High Sierra camp, which was closed. So we had lunch at the bottom of Cascade Falls, which is right at the High Sierra camp. And then from there we go up a cold canyon. And there's our camp in Cold Canyon. Actually, Cold Canyon was nice and warm. That was later in the evening when it cooled off a little bit, but we were in shirt sleeves until evening. And from Cold Canyon, the next 2 days were pretty hard. A lot of up and down and difficult trail, big stone steps and rocky trails and stream crossings, and that's the descent into Matterhorn Canyon where we camped. And I guess it was the third or fourth day we got to our favorite place in the whole trip, which was Benson Lake. And the surrounding hills look kind of ominous, but the beach is it's the best beach in the Sierra Nevada mountains, I swear. It's about a quarter mile long, and I don't know, maybe 100-yard wide beach, golden sand. People call it the Benson Riviera. That's just behind, you can see the whole width of the beach there. That's a big lodgepole pine behind the beach in front of our campsite. And that's the north end of the beach. And behind the beach, behind the sand dunes, there's a huge swamp with ponds like this. And this one we call the Black Lagoon because it was just as black as ink. You couldn't see anything beneath the surface. And a lot of this stuff surrounding it, I'm pretty sure, is wild rice. But there was a constant breeze off the lake, just a gentle breeze, just strong enough to keep the mosquitoes back in the swamp, so mosquitoes weren't a problem. Whoops, I went the wrong way. That's at night. And it wasn't long after that a guy came into camp and dropped his pack, and it was obvious he was going to share the campsite with us. And he was the first real through hiker we met. What I mean by real is someone that started at the Mexican border and hiked. It was like 1,000 miles at this point. So the through hikers. So he was going to hike he was headed for Canada. And one thing we learned about, it's like a subculture. These people would do the whole thing. One thing we learned is that you always share your campsite. There's no question. I mean, so he just came, sat down, and started cooking his dinner over the fire. But he was a nice guy. He wasn't in trouble. And I'll tell you more about the through hikers later. And then there's Dan on the trail, not far from there. There's me on the trail. And then we went past, what was the name of the lake? Wilma Lake. Wilma Lake was the thickest in mosquitoes of any place I think I've ever been in the Sierras. I mean, we had to raise our voices to talk, to be heard above the drone, but it was only at the lake. And then as we got up further up the stream, what's the name of this? I forget the name of the stream, but we followed the stream up to Dorothy Lake, which didn't have so many mosquitoes. It was a long hike that day, and on the way we stopped for water, and Dan fell in the river. Then it started to rain. Then it started to hail, and finally there's the storm gathering over Dorothy Lake. So we set up our camp in the rain at Dorothy Lake, which wasn't as hard as we thought. We set up our tents, and we didn't get anything wet somehow. Okay, and after this is just a bunch of flowers. Snow plant. There's also an obscene name for these that has to do with dogs. They're pretty striking though when you see them. Lupins and paintbrush. Mule's ears flowers. There were a lot of those. A lot of shooting stars. And these I'd never seen before, skyrocket flowers. If you look at the individual flower, it looks like a skyrocket, like a rocket going up and then bursting. I guess that's what they call them. Oh, and then hailed again. After that first rainstorm, it either threatened rain or hail, or else it actually rained or hailed every day from then on. But it usually came around 4, which is usually when we quit. So we always had if days it did rain, we were ready for it. We didn't get caught in the rain again. There's the camp. This is the Pennsylvania Creek. I don't know where we are here, about the 6th or 8th day, something like that. To sunrise at Sardine Creek. Sardine Creek is right just before Sonora Pass. Sonora Pass is where we had stashed some food. So the next day we resupplied and crossed the highway, whatever that is, that goes through through Sonora Pass. And then we camped at Sardine Creek because there was some possibility that might be the last water for 10 or 12 miles. Because after that, you leave the granite that's typical of Yosemite, and you head into a volcanic area where it looks like this, and it looks bleak, but the transition was so interesting. We didn't mind, and from there on, we went back and forth between volcanic and granite, you know, with lots of trees and meadows and stuff. But there was water because it was early in the year. There was still snowbanks and there were still little streamlets coming out of the snowbank. So we didn't really need to worry about running out of water. So we're still in the, oh, no, the rest of these are all in, for a while, are all in the volcanic area. More volcanic. And after this, we passed two more highways, two more mountain passes. One was Ebbets, I forget what the other one was. But, and when at the next highway crossing, we ran into our first, what they call trail angels. These are people that for some reason, they just love to help out through hikers. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like we're performing any service like with first responders or something, but they set up tables and give you like complete meals. They'll give you rides to the grocery store. I think they'll even sometimes they even put people up. But I don't know. I guess there's just something about through hiking that captures the imagination of some people. They just want to help us out. So we had a couple meals. Well, the next at the next two highways we crossed, there were trail angels there. And then some more about the through hikers. Like I said, they're really into sharing. They don't look down their nose at people that are only hiking 150 miles. They're, you know, they're nice to be around. Also, they all go by their trail name. They never use their real name. They all have a trail name. The guy at Benson Lake was called DG, which is short for delayed gratification. So, and who else did we meet? Bunny, there was a woman named Bambi who had like those big Bambi eyes, and it was I forget some of the other ones, but so we decided, so we had to have a trail name. So I said, well, we just share one name. We're Chicken Fat and Son from my email address. So they like that, and so we were Chicken Fat and Son from there on. But a lot of gray rock like that, basalt. That's, have you ever been to Devil's Post? Well, that's what it's made out of. I like this picture. Let's see. Okay, this is it. This is the last picture. This is one of our last campsites. Maybe it was the last campsite. The lake was warm for some reason. The last two lakes we stopped at were warm. This lake and Showers Lake, which was interesting because there were showers, of course, in Showers Lake. But it was warm. We swam across, and on the other side, there was a nicely made varnished wooden cross. It's with Max carved on it and a dog collar hung on the top. So I don't know how they got him there, but somehow they took Max and buried him there. Okay, so then it wasn't too long after that, we started getting close to Highway 50, and there are roads off of Highway 50 that penetrate fairly deep into the wilderness, into the along the Pacific Crest Trail. And the next day after that, I looked up and saw a Winnebago gliding through the trees. And so it was kind of over for me then. So much for the wilderness, but we were almost to the car, and we had left the car at Tahoe. We got that. The place we left the car burned over a couple of weeks after that in that big Tahoe fire. The place we had lunch was evacuated the next week at Markleyville. Anyway, everything went fine after that, and I'll put this on YouTube, and if you can find my channel, it'll be there, or you can search on YouTube for PCT Zoom with a space in between. PCT Zoom, 2 words. Okay, goodbye. Hope you enjoyed this.